Welcome back to the Kemi podcast. We're called Kemi because I'm Karen and she's
Baby. I was on my mic.
Chin chin. Is that what the girls say? I don't know.
You didn't even look at me.
Oh, did I not? No. What does that mean? Oh, sorry. Do it again. I taste. Don't know what I taste. Don't you feel like rosé smells like farts?
It depends which one you're drinking. I think Prosecco smells like farts.
Really? I think Prosecco's a bit bitter.
This one doesn't smell like farts. And White Zinfandel is better.
You like White Zinfandel? This is White Zinfandel.
Yeah. White Zinfandel is sweeter. I like pink Moscato and White Zinfandel equally.
Okay, fine.
But it's a preference on how I'm feeling.
What's the difference between two?
White Zinfandel is sweeter
than rosé.
Then pink Moscato.
I think sometimes rosé has a kickback.
It has like a sharper.
Yeah.
A sharper.
I like this though.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not bad.
How are you?
It's a loaded question. I'm doing alright. What are you saying?
Sometimes I just want to know how you are.
I'm doing good. I'm doing alright. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm okay. It is what it is.
Until it isn't.
Right. Whatever that fucking means.
Until it isn't. Oh my days.
That's the best heartbreaker win.
Sorry. She's iconic for that. Icon.
What was I saying?
Talk to me. Icebreaker.
Do you think you handle your emotions well?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Elaborate.
I don't know what. On a scale of 1 to 10, maybe like 6.
That's how well you handle your emotions.
Yeah, and I only said that because I don't actually deal.
Right.
I think to me it's more like it's not a hill worth dying on type vibe.
Right.
So a lot of the things that probably could do with a discussion, I'm more like, I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, is this going to bother me in the future?
Right.
How bothered am I about it now? Can I just get over it?
Right.
And the answer to that often tends to be like, yeah, if you let the wind blow over fast enough,
right,
then it might not be a hill worth dying on. But again, depending on who you communicate with.
Sorry, I'm a very active listener.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, right, yeah. But mediocre. I'm not all the way there, but I guess if I was, then I'd be perfect.
Right.
So, how do you think you deal? Or do you deal, don't you deal?
I think I handle my emotions okay. I think I'm really good at recognizing my emotions.
Yeah.
And I'm really good at naming them. So, like, I guess my emotional vocabulary is extensive. But I don't always handle them the best way. I can say that. And that's because I'm really emotive. And sometimes, all the time, I need to kind of acknowledge emotional change in order for me to move forward.
Yeah.
If I don't acknowledge it, I feel uncomfortable and then I can't move forward. So I guess part of that are all the ingredients that kind of make you a good communicator.
Right.
But then I also have parts that are like, okay, you can definitely overstress the situation, if that's a word, if that's a term.
Like you're overdoing it by forcing the right.
And not necessarily forcing, but like needing to acknowledge that change.
Yeah.
When, again, emotions are personal, and you don't know what somebody else is feeling. Like, I can never turn around and say, this is how you're feeling. I can never be 100% sure. I could probably be like 50, but like maybe even more depending on the situation, but it will never be 100% because people feel things differently.
Yeah.
And because of that, I can't always say that I'm reacting to emotional change more than I'm reacting to my emotional change.
Right.
So I think I'm good at recognizing.
Yeah.
And good at pointing. Like, I can't glaze over emotional, like things that need to be spoken about. I can't glaze over them. I wish I could,
but
I feel like it would save a lot of like.
Maybe, but see, that's what I was gonna say. Perspective is a thing, right? Because to you, the way you're feeling based on said situation, it might need to be something that needs to be discussed.
Yeah.
Whereas depending on whoever it is you're trying to have the discussion with, their perspective might be like, that wasn't even anything.
Right.
So why does it need to be discussed?
Right.
And I think that's where we often find a middle ground of like, okay, well, the door is open if you want to talk about it.
Right.
But just to let you know, that didn't bother me.
Right. And I was going to say, I think it's funny because we're best friends and we have very different ways of kind of dealing with emotions. But I think we're both really good communicators because we kind of both know what the goal is.
Yeah.
And what the intention is. So I'm never trying to hurt Karen's feelings. I'm never trying to upset her for any reason. There's no malicious intent behind anything I do towards her.
Of course.
And because of that, it can never be like hostile.
Yeah, it's not coming from like a bad place.
And because I know, I can confidently say that she kind of reacts the same way because of how our dynamic is. It's never come from a bad place either.
Yeah.
So as long as we know what we're trying to work on and what is important to us, there's no
disparity there.
Right.
Because I think a lot of it, sometimes it's like, I think people try to overcomplicate like the whole emotive, like, let's talk about how I'm feeling, this upset me type of vibe, because I think everyone is kind of overconscious in a way. Like no one, I'd like to hope that no one's out here having like very malicious conversations trying to intentionally hurt people's feelings.
You'd be surprised.
You know, are scary.
You'd be surprised.
People are scary. Because I that's another conversation for another day. I'm not trying to be upsetting people so that people can walk around and say that girl upset me all the time. She want to upset everybody. No, I don't want to be that person.
Again, perspective is important.
Oh, it's huge. It's huge.
Perspective is important. You can be a villain in anyone's story.
Very true. Very true. And that's why it's so important to have conversations occasionally. And that's why I say I'm not always good at that. Because yes, Karen, you've acknowledged that that's not a big deal to you, so you can just crack on. But someone else might have not received that in the same way, so their perspective might be like, actually that was kind of a big deal, don't you think it's worth a discussion?
So how do you react when somebody's hurt your feelings?
I don't,
even if they've hurt your feelings.
I don't know, you tell me. I don't think I do.
Yeah, you don't.
I don't.
Not that you necessarily need to react.
Yeah, no, but like to the question,
I can say this with you. When I know that I've hurt your feelings, or when I know that I've done something that you're not too hot about, I also know that you're never going to tell me. And what normally seems to happen is we kind of take a break from each other and then we just come back.
See, I think it's funny that you say that because I have a completely different perspective on that.
Really?
I think you've done something that I'm not hot about. I'm in my head like, oh, she doesn't seem so hot about something.
Right.
But I think she thinks she's bothered me, but that didn't bother me.
In our whole 6 years of friendship, I've never done anything that bothered you.
Nothing that I personally think was worth discussing.
Right.
Perspective.
Right, though.
Yeah.
Because the threshold of what I could do to you that is worth discussing has to be something friendship breaking.
Exactly.
But that's terrifying.
Yeah, I know it is for you, but to me it's like,
no, but not even like I'm scared of it, but it's like it feels as though or it's like, and I know you don't need this because of how you react to emotions. This is from my perspective.
Yeah.
But it feels as though you are like, for example, you can be taking loads of mini blows because they don't hurt that bad.
Yeah. Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Whereas I'm taking mini blows and I'm like, ow, ow, ow.
But I see, you've hit the nail on the head. But I think you need to be able to express yourself. That's something I've learned about you. You definitely need to be able to, even if you don't want to do it right now, to know that you have the room to express yourself. I, on the other hand, I'm like,
I think I'm very adamant on being listened to. I'm not it's not so much of an importance that I need to be understood.
Yeah, no, you just need the room to be able to express.
Yes, I need the room to be able to say what I need to say.
This is how I'm feeling, yeah.
And that's because I think for me, that's really important for me to kind of like build in relationships that are important to me.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to breeze through without letting you know how you're making me feel. Whether it's good, bad, whatever. Like even when it's really good, I'm very expressive of like, that really helped me. Because I think those are all things that are kind of important to kind of like pinpoint in any relationship. But how do you, with me, how do you let me know that you need space, that you need a minute? I'm not asking because I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm asking from your perspective.
Yeah. I genuinely just think that's kind of built in. I know that's weird to say, but I feel like there's enough of it for me to have that space. Yeah. I don't think it's something I need to be like, hey, can you leave me alone 2 minutes? Right. Because I don't think we're in each other's face all the time when we know that we need space anyway. Yeah. I think we know when we overdo it.
Right, I was going to say, I think we both, maybe me more than you sometimes, but I think we both get moments where it's overwhelming to have somebody too close all the time.
Yeah, but I think that's everybody in the world. Yeah. I think 100%. If you don't know if you've been in someone's face for too long, then maybe you should do something about that. Yeah. Like, I think it's kind of like, who wants anybody in their face all the time?
Right.
Not even parents want their kids in their face all the time.
I think what is really important as well is that we can be together and not necessarily engage.
Because that's enough. We're in the same room.
And like two separate entities, I think the common understanding that I need a minute, you need a minute.
Yeah, and also even to say that, I think the reason why I say it's built in is because we plan time together. Right. So if I know in 3 weeks from now we're going to spend a week together, I have 3 weeks before the week together to recoup, to gather myself, right? Because that 1 week is something I've dedicated myself to do. And if I decide that actually I can't do a week, I should be able to say that. I will say that. Yeah. I can't do that week. We can do 3 days.
And that's another thing I think is really important. When me and Karen spend time together, normally it's like we have like sleepovers and it's like, okay, this time I'm coming, I'm gonna stay until this day. It's like, okay, yeah, because you don't just assume that you can be in somebody's space regardless of who they are.
What? Who raised you?
Right, you don't just assume that you can be in somebody's space regardless of who they are. This is my best friend. We can be on FaceTime from morning to night, and throughout that whole FaceTime we won't feel like this is too much. Like my mom would even be like, still?
What's the problem? That doesn't bother me because you're like in the background, like as if we live together, but you're not here. Right.
Yeah, I'm very emotive. Yeah. I'm very emotive in relationships. Yeah. I can't address how somebody has made me feel in a relationship in the moment.
Why shy?
I don't think it's shyness. I don't think it's shyness.
Why are you shy? I think
I can't actually pinpoint what it is, if I'm being honest with you.
I don't believe that.
What do you mean?
I don't believe that.
Why are you calling me a liar?
No, I've seen you call out.
Okay.
I seen you do it.
I can call... Okay.
I seen you do it.
I can do it. I think... Okay.
She's lying.
No. I think the perspective I'm coming from is that I'm not a mini bobini.
Yeah, of course. Okay, I think that what it is, correct me if I'm wrong, you're not as comfortable to come out with how it is them is making you feel. Right. And
I think that's because I think men are weird.
Period.
I'm heterosexual.
Not all of you, before you start screaming. Some of you are a little bit weird.
I'm heterosexual. I like men.
Monogamous.
I date men. I'm monogamous as well.
One at a time.
I date men, one man.
to my good.
Right. I don't even mean that. But yes, and I think men are weird, and I think they have a really good way of making you seem like
you're mad. You've gone insane.
Making you seem like you're being dumb. Ooh. And let me stop right there before we go on. We're not about to enter a conversation of I hate men. We're not doing that.
No,
I feel like it's even wasteful to even like discuss things like that. It's been spoken about so many times.
Because I'm gonna still get married. So.
Period. But what I will say is that like, I don't like being made to feel like I'm being dramatic. I don't like being made to feel like, when I tell Karen how I'm feeling, whether it's her making me feel that way, either it's her making me feel that way, whether it's her making me feel that way, or somebody else. When I tell Karen how I'm feeling, nothing that I'm saying is dramatic.
But what the hell would I look like being like, I think you're just being a bit dramatic right now?
Nothing that I'm saying is being dramatic.
Even if I think it.
Right. What the hell?
No, but I'm saying, even if I was to think it.
Right. At the very worst, or at the very least.
Yeah.
Am I okay? At the very least, it's, maybe you mean it this way.
Right.
Instead of this way.
Yeah.
It's like for example, having the power to kind of articulate your emotions means that you will be able to articulate whether or not you're confused.
Right.
And confusion is a very relevant emotion. And yes, it does mean that you don't know what you're feeling. But to be able to identify that you're confused is enough. You don't have to throw labels on it and decide exactly what it is. And do you know what? You could have a feeling right in the moment and then it could change 10 seconds later.
Yeah.
And I think about it a lot. So like,
but you don't be ripping into them the way you need to be giving.
Yeah,
you don't dig.
But then again, I don't think that's relevant. I don't think I will ever rip into someone.
But some of them deserve it. I'm sorry.
All right.
Some of them deserve it.
I will never rip into you, even if you upset me.
Yeah, but that's different. I would never. I don't think personally I could do something that would deserve a ripping. You think I could do something that deserve a ripping?
What if it's like friendship ending?
I don't think that could ever happen.
I don't even think I have, like, I don't think I...
You guys are going to use this, and then when we stop the podcast, they're going to be like, look, that's what you guys said.
When this is the best podcast in the world, so it will never
Number
stop.
one.
But when I feel like if you ever were to...
Yeah?
I don't think I would even be able to rip. And let me tell you why. Because when I care about people... I'm a lot quicker to diffuse it than to... You know how people say, when you're angry, the truth comes out. When I'm angry, the only truth that will come out is, I care about you a lot, so I'm not going to rip you.
I would diarrhea myself if you started saying some shit I didn't already know. And if you started saying some shit that I never heard you say before, I said, oh my God. That's really I would diarrhea myself. Can you imagine? Where's the side? And this is why. And I never like your middle part anyway.
I would actually be like,
yo,
sorry. Damn. But yeah, like with
oh my God.
Okay, in a romantic partner,
right?
I would need them to be very attentive to my emotions. Now, before you trolls come along, of course relationships work two ways, right? He's not gonna have to be attentive to me and then I'm just sitting there doing
thank you
and feed me the grips and done. No, it's definitely a thing of like, you're supposed to engage with people and you're supposed to interact. I mean, we did it right here when we just spoke about how Karen's this and I'm this, and we still both find ways to accommodate each other. So like, it happens all the time.
It's not compromise,
right? And that's the point, because we both know what we want. There's gonna be no way, like I'm not gonna be like, yeah, I'm waiting to rip into Karen. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, that's not the goal, and because that's not the goal, there's always, even if there's friction, there's always intent to diffuse it, because this is what's more important right now.
I think outside of the fact that all relationships require compromise, I think it's also like recognizing that if you think this is something worthwhile having, something worthwhile keeping, then you've got to weigh up the odds here.
Right.
And that's why I say sometimes not everything is worth dying on. Like, it's not worth a hill to die on. But equally, if this is something that your friend counterpart or your romantic counterpart says, I really need you to do this for me, and you care about that person, why wouldn't you?
Right.
That's the way I see it. You're wicked and bad if you don't.
Right.
You're wicked and bad.
Right, I agree. I think with romantic relationships, oh my god, being told,
oh my god,
being told that I'm being dramatic. It's happened. This is a true story.
And I genuinely couldn't believe it.
Being told that I'm being dramatic,
Jesus,
from the individual, I'm sure he thought, no biggie.
Because why do men think saying stuff like that is just so blasé?
Being told that I'm being dramatic, and let me tell you this for free, I'm a crier.
I was gonna say,
I know a lot of
did you cry?
I know a lot of men. I was crying. That's when you told me I was being dramatic. Yeah, not bawling, outrageous. We were actually on the phone, so I wasn't. Not bawling outrageous, but like not.
Do you know what you should have done? You should have FaceTimed him.
I should have.
Yeah.
But
that's how you manipulate.
Stop.
Sorry.
We don't endorse that.
Or do we?
Look at you, see. Tell her to put the rosé glass down, guys.
Sorry.
What was I even saying?
You was balling outrageous. Well, you wasn't balling outrageous, but you will be soon in Jesus' name.
Period. In the financial sense, but in the emotional sense, no, I was not balling outrageous. I was just a little bit, wet eyes. He couldn't see that because we were on the phone.
But he heard it.
And he was like, thinks I'm being a little bit dramatic. And literally, that was like a dagger to the heart. Because...
Did you tell him that?
No. Not in the moment. Told him afterwards.
Eventually, okay, yeah.
I think I did.
I hope you did.
I hope I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. He told me I was being dramatic and it was like a dagger to the heart. Because... What do you mean I'm being dramatic? This is just how I respond to my emotions.
Well, better yet, this is just how I'm feeling right now.
Right.
This
is how I respond to my emotions. And what you do by telling somebody that they're being dramatic when they're just expressing their emotions it's like you're validating them. You're putting them in a box and,
suppressing them emotionally.
We see it. We saw it because it's like you're telling them that
their feelings are unimportant, not valid.
And...
No one cares.
No one cares. And
stop crying. Shut up.
Right. And then in the future, they're reluctant to kind of express how they're feeling.
Right.
And that is the extreme sense of things. Me, I'm always be emotional. I'm always be like that. So that didn't bother me. I just carried on doing it the next day.
I'll do it again.
Right. I'll do it again.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna stop me. And it's not because I'm trying to be manipulative. It's not because I'm trying to get, because
the people will say,
but because like it hurt me in that moment. My feelings were hurt, and if that makes me emotional, if that makes me dramatic, so be it. Because I want somebody that can cater to that, and not somebody that's going to make me feel bad about having those emotions. This is just the way I am.
Wait, are you going to cut out the bit about you're being dramatic?
No.
Okay, I was going to say because no one's
no about because that. I think I've come to peace with that. I've come to peace with. We might have to stitch this back with that. I've come to peace with the fact that I am dramatic. I am emotional.
And take a voice back.
I am emotional.
Yeah.
And I'm vocal about my feelings. You're not going to make me feel bad about
Small about it, yeah.
You're not going to make me feel like I'm wasting my time.
Claim
You're
your voice back.
Feel like what I'm saying is invalid.
Yeah.
What you really need to do is ask yourself why you're making me feel that way.
And why can't you deal with someone that is expressing how they feel?
Right.
What is going on with you? Right.
What's your issue with it? Because something that I've really learned is every time I come to you with a heavy emotion that I'm feeling, you have never made me feel small about that.
Because
you've always validated that emotion. Exactly. You've always validated that emotion. If you feel like, okay, this emotion might be misplaced, there's always a way that you say it that makes me know that.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Nobody that I date is going to make me feel like my emotions are less than.
Right.
Because I've already experienced that people are capable of not making me feel that way.
And also the unfortunate thing about it is that from my perspective, it's not that there was never any room for that person to also express how they were feeling. They just weren't good at that. Right. They were like me, but on steroids, really. Right. Even like how you use like, they're most similar to Biso, because they're very emotionally...
Shout out Biso.
Love you, girl. But this person was very emotionally stone cold. And it's funny because...
She's not though.
No, Biso is not, but that's where the disparity is.
Right.
Biso is not, because Biso will say how she feels. She will say that. Whereas this person that we're talking about was very much like, I can't even really put the words to it, but it just felt like I could imagine that if you were expressing If I could see the two of you, right, you're here and this person is here, and you were communicating with each other, I would envision you getting infuriated by the fact that you're speaking to a brick wall for that part. If you're not into women that are expressive or emotive or express their emotions in the way that you decide, not even decide, in the way that you innately express yourself, this is just who you are, then don't go for said woman. But let me not even, I was about to say, people keep going for said woman, but want to act like it's just too emotive. Shut up.
So like, this is what I'm saying, like, I think you need to find something that you're equally yoked with. But then here's the problem. I think a lot of men don't like when women are emotional, don't like when women are moaning.
Why are you dating women then?
But they like the emotional part of, yeah, she loves me.
Yes, we said this the other day though, right?
She likes me.
Right, you like when, this is for the heterosexual monogamous men only. If you're not that, exit the chat. We're not into polygamy and all that. No disgrace, but that's not for us.
And you know what? Sorry, Kemi.
Yeah, go on.
I would love to know. So if you're a guy, please let us know. I would love to know
her DMs.
How you, as a man, if you've ever dated somebody that is emotive, or if you've ever dated anyone like Karen, how do you... And I say that loosely though, because we'll get to it in a second.
Oh damn!
But
she said, "I'm about to air you out." I'm about to air you out.
Because if you've ever dated anyone, like me or Karen, how do you react to that? Yeah,
and even on top of that, when you let us know, how do you? What is kind of? How do you maneuver? Said if you had a woman as gorgeous as Bemi, and she expressed herself in the way that she just described, if you were her boyfriend, what would you do? And I hope the comments say something like, I wouldn't even have told her she was being dramatic, because that's the right answer.
No, don't even hope for that. Say what you mean and say what you feel, because this is a safe space, 1. 2.
Or is it? For the gross, I know what I mean.
This is a safe space for all genders.
Okay, yes it is.
Because, see, I'm the angel on her shoulder.
No, it is. I'm actually intrigued. I really am.
Right,
we don't have no men friends, so I'm intrigued.
Yeah, we don't have any male friends, actually.
We don't.
Actually, we don't have any male friends.
Because every time we try to be friends, they want to be more than friends. That's really the problem.
We don't have any male friends. So, because of that, I would love to. I'm sorry for the male friends. I think they're my male friends, and I've just said I don't have any male friends.
Who?
Didn't mean it.
Come from the woodworks, and you haven't shouted us in a minute. Okay.
How do you react to somebody like me, like Karen? Let us know in the comments. Let us know.
Yeah.
Right.
Email us.
Send us an email.
Yeah. DM, whatever.
Because
interested.
Yeah, I'm really interested in finding out, because not because I'm like ooh, but because I think it's relevant to kind of talk about what you would prefer
and how you deal with that. Kind of how do you cope from a man's perspective with a woman who is like Bemi, or a woman like that is like me, or another woman that you've been with. Describe your scenario and how you deal.
And that's the thing, and I think I make myself sound like I cry every moment.
I think you do.
Do you think I cry every moment?
No, I think you describe yourself as that. Because you don't cry like that.
I was gonna say I don't cry every moment. I'm actually angrier than I am.
But also, I will say the things that you do cry about are actually worthwhile crying about. Like, I don't think you just be crying for nothing.
No. Yeah, I'm not just like.
No. I think it's very on par.
Right. But I will say, you're not gonna do something to me and think you can just get by.
Oh, see, I thought you was gonna say I'm tough. Nobody gonna whip me.
You're not gonna do something to me and think, oh no, she's gonna be alright. No, I'm not.
She's gonna cry.
I'm gonna cry.
Write it down.
I'm gonna cry.
I love that. No, it's let it be known.
But yeah, I think it's really relevant to kind of have discussions. I think
agree.
It's important, and I know we say this all the time, right? But it's so important to just be transparent with whoever you are dating. What is the point of acting like this way and acting like that way and acting like that? No, I don't want to talk about that part of it. I don't want to talk about that part of it. If you want to be a schemer, scammer in the streets, do what you want. That ain't got fuck to do with me.
Tinder swindler.
Right. Do what you want. That ain't got fuck to do with me. Right. My eyes are open. Not saying everybody else's eyes are closed, but you got one time with me. Sorry.
Finger crossed. I'm still working on it, Lord. No.
Wait. You got one time with me, and for the people that didn't experience that, shut up. Like, I'm more expressive about what's going on when I really want to spend my future with this person.
Yes, because
like,
this is
really
do or die.
Yeah, because I understand that my perspective is clouded. My judgment is clouded.
Scientifically, by the way, you know, there's like journal articles.
Because I'm head over heels.
Mm-hmm.
Hers isn't. She doesn't like him. I do.
Yeah.
And because of that, there's some liberties that she can see that I won't be able to see. That won't always be obvious to me off the jump. And I think it's very important to kind of show whoever your romantic partner is, show them what's important in your life when they meet you.
And also, sorry to cut you off, but it's, you don't just entrust the ability of someone to pass judgment on your partner unless you value their opinion.
Exactly.
Because I don't want nobody in the comments like, you're one of them girls that let your friend tell you what. No, she's not just any girl.
Right.
This lady here is not just any girl to me. Right. I know she's not gonna jeopard. And the thing is, you're really honest with me. You'll be like, I like seeing you with that person. Yeah. But I don't like the way that person treats you. So what are we gonna do, girl?
Like, it hurts me that he's also being shit, by the way.
I'm sad about it.
Like,
because I really like them together.
I wish I could, like, erase all of it so we could just move forward.
Right,
but I can't. And that's the problem. Like, I'm sure that there's, I don't know if you feel that way about the rest of it.
No, do you know what it is? Yeah, you guys look great together. And yeah, the good times were good. But, like, that doesn't outweigh the most important element of being able to express yourself in the way that you innately do, and then having that to be received as being dramatic.
Right.
It's bizarre.
It's not necessary for me to kind of deal with somebody that doesn't understand that from the jump. And I say from the jump because it has to already come with him. I don't want to...
all included.
Right, I don't want to have to, like, teach that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that... Because, of course, he has to learn how to love me because he doesn't know me. But I know how to be respectful of other people's emotions, and I know how to be receptive of other people's emotions, regardless of how they express them. I need somebody that can do that for me. You know?
I agree. But see, I have the opposite problem of that. I think because I am I'm on level emotionally with the people I tend to date, which means we're both not very good at saying how we both feel. And then things don't go the way I would like for them to. And then I'm like, okay, but if you had said that, then maybe you wouldn't be here. Right. But that's not to say that I think it's my fault. There's a part of me that just doesn't feel comfortable with even saying
See, I disagree.
To romantic partners. Go on then.
I think you're very intentional with what you go into when you're dating someone. Yeah. I think you're not very vocal, because I'm also not very vocal about the things that I want, but I think you're vocal enough and open enough to kind of show them that this is your intent when you get there. I think you have encountered one guy, I don't want to talk about him, but I think you've encountered people that can be immature with their emotions.
Ooh,
and they can be
spill the tea.
And that's no shade on the, but
I love the side eye. She's like, but you know who you are.
Right. But you can be you haven't encountered people that are... I think it's a similar issue with me. Like, you haven't encountered the maturity in terms of emotion.
Do you know what's funny? I think, especially my person, I don't know about your person, but I think they would both disagree.
That they're...
Emotionally... I don't know, sorry. I don't know if I can even say that.
Emotionally unintelligent. Emotionally...
Constipated. Especially my person. I think my person would vehemently
do you know
detest.
What's funny? When you first met him, I would have been like, no, you would never. After, Same. I was like,
it's mad.
Wrong and strong.
Wrong and strong.
Wrong and strong.
To the grave. We'll take it to the grave.
And I know I don't like to throw around words like gaslight and stuff, but gaslight for sure.
You reckon?
Yeah, because you didn't make up those feelings. You didn't make that up. And what he did is not something you begged him to do. So don't pretend like I'm just being out of order. But that's another story for another day, guys. But what I think
he would disagree. I think he would be like, absolutely not. I'm very emotionally intelligent. And I think that comes from the fact that we say this all the time about this person. Like, you know when you're mollycoddled? No one ever tells you you've done anything wrong. Right. You're like golden child, really. Right. Apple of parents' eye. So you're not often met with people who not necessarily tell you about yourself, but might make a comment about the way you maneuver. Right. And you know me, Remy. I'm not that I'm shy, but I'm not going to be out there like, that's not my style. Yeah. Because often people don't receive that well. I don't receive that communication style well.
That well. If you shout at me, I'll cry.
It's over. I'm going home. I don't want to talk anymore. Yeah. And so I would not approach a scenario like that or a situation like that. But even the small nuggets that I was dropping, it just wasn't being received.
Right. I agree. I think moving forward, it's just very important to kind of find somebody that is emotionally capable. Maybe on the same wavelength, maybe more, who knows. But I think it's important to kind of identify where they lack emotionally and whether you're ready to compromise on that.
Yes.
Emotional incapability is something that I'm just not. But I think
can't compromise on that.
Right. I think whether people are knowingly doing it or not, emotional abuse is so common that, and I think even before I say that, because I think when you throw around words like abuse and people are like, what? That's so dramatic.
It's so extent. Yeah, you're reaching.
Stuff like that aren't always obvious, one. And two, I'm not saying you are abusive because you are emotionally abusing somebody. It doesn't necessarily make you abusive, but what it does make you, I think the intent behind it is what it makes you. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but look, see, I would say if you're being emotionally abusive, then you are abusive. But if you have tendencies to do and say things that would make someone feel disparaged and not wanting to express how they feel, then you're edging towards it. You're not there yet, but you're edging.
And a lot of people do it unknowingly. Yeah. Because of their incapabilities when it comes to emotions, not because they're just out here doing it on purpose.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't doubt that Mr. did not like you, or
Mr. K
did not want to date you, or didn't want to. Mr. K,
because I'm Karen.
Okay.
And he's Ken.
Okay. I do not doubt that Mr. K didn't want to be that he didn't like you. I don't doubt that. That's not what's in question. I think that's
not enough. I think if you're not willing to compromise for the people that you say you care about, then you don't care about them enough. I wouldn't just half-heartedly do something for you. I love you. I care about you enough to want to compromise.
Well, I agree. I think parts of it are in both of our characters. We're not those type of people.
Okay, fine. I can deal with that.
I agree. Yeah. The caring about you and the loving you is definitely prominent.
Yeah.
You're also not, we're not bad people. And okay, let me reword that.
We're the greatest people ever.
Right?
Yeah.
We're not people that are
that way inclined.
I think that's also a part of it.
Fine. Yeah.
I think when you've never had to be, do you know what I mean?
It's never been asked of you.
Right. When you've never had to be, then it's not going to come naturally. Right. When you're expected to.
But this is where I'm like, okay, it's not going to come naturally to you, wherever, blase or whatever. I'm just going through life because look at me, I'm a man, right? But when you decide that you love someone and you decide to confess...
See, we're friends. Do you think he loved you?
No, girl, I'm not talking about me. Okay. When you confess that you...
What are you talking about?
When you confess that you... When you confess that you love someone, and you make a very bold statement about this word and how you feel towards someone, you cannot sell me on this whole like, yeah, but I just wasn't that way inclined because that's just not what I... Right. Because you know the type of woman you have decided to confess your love to. This is not some lady that you met on the corner streets and you said, oh my God, I love her. This is a lady that you've known for a very long time. You know her tendencies, you know her attributes, and you've seen it all, and you still decided that you love her.
Right.
You can't sell me with this blasé excuse of like, yeah, but I didn't have the chance to practice these skills when I grew up. Here is your time to shine, boss. Here is your time to shine.
And everything is a learning curve. I had to learn how to love Karen, and
I'm that hard to love.
Just to like kind of reference back, to me, sure to you, friendship love is almost identical, if not the same.
Yes, ma'am.
To romantic love for me. Agree to disagree. I know I said I didn't like that statement, but
go somewhere.
Do what you want.
Go somewhere.
Feeling like you don't agree, and I say that because you learn how to love from socialization, right? And
it's very
when
true.
You're socialized, it's not romantic love that you're experiencing.
It's your family is your first point of love, isn't it?
Right, because there was no romance within that. But then you go on to love people. Your love languages come from that. So they don't have to be. You don't have to, love romantically in order to know how to love romantically. Love is the same in every language. Exactly.
You don't have to love romantically to know how to love romantically, because that is not your first point of display when it comes to love. Right. So this whole I'm so in love but I don't know how to love her.
Love comes in every language, and it's funny. It's the same in every language, and it's funny because a lot of the time when people don't know how to love, it's because they've been on the receiving end on the love more than they've been on the giving end of the love.
Ooh, selfish.
Yeah, selfish, but then again, you can also be very unknowingly selfish. True. There's also people that allow you to be selfish
because they're so selfless.
Because they're so selfless. Yeah. And when that's all you know,
oh Lord,
how do you move forward from that? It's okay, by the way, as well, to still have a lot of love for someone, like someone, whatever.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah,
it's okay to be sad that you're not with this person.
It's okay to be it doesn't make you
sad that you've lost that friend.
The people that label that as a weakness are the people that you should stay away from.
Those are the people that write rap bars in their room with the lights off. Why are you so angry?
Those are the people that write hate comments. And I'm saying this because your emotions are supposed to be felt. You're not supposed to ignore them. That's what gets you through them. You're not supposed to get over emotions. You get through them. By the way, guys.
Yeah.
And it's important because if you don't allow yourself to feel these emotions, they blow up later on because you didn't give yourself the time to feel them.
Yeah, think that up.
And emotions are unexpected. Your head can be telling you this is how you feel, but your head doesn't have feeling, your heart does. So as soon as you're in a position where your heart starts feeling, I'm talking in the emotional sense, guys, obviously scientifically.
People can die from a broken heart.
Right. So. And I've never had my heart broken.
I don't know if I can say the same.
Well, have I had my heart broken?
How am I supposed to know if you had your heart broken?
Because I react like...
Well, I was going to say, she acts like every time my heart is broken, so I really don't know. I think I've had your heart broken.
Oh.
Wow, you always...
That was serious.
I think...
That was serious.
I think maybe still.
So what do I do about
who? What do you do about who?
But yeah, it's so important to be vocal about your feelings. It's okay to like somebody, but then know that this is not the right person for you. It's okay to love someone, but then know that this is not the right person for you. Friendship, relationship, even your family, guys.
Yeah, that's also
because all of those stuff are relevant. You're supposed to feel those emotions. That's why you're feeling them. Don't ignore them. Don't try and block them out. Emotions are supposed to be felt.
And I think the worst thing you could do is to find caveats as to how and why this could possibly work when you yourself know you're kidding yourself.
Look at me.
You can't kid a kidder. Like, you don't be like, oh, well, maybe in a few months' time, maybe if I hang around and wait, maybe if it's this time, what if it's next time? You have to accept things for what they are.
Right, and that's another thing, guys, and it doesn't make you delusional. People can change now. How often that happens
Only God
is
knows.
the question, right? People
And
can
when
change.
it will happen.
And when it will happen. And if it's too late. Those are all relevant things.
What's your pressure?
But, right, people can. And you now have to, if you're presented with the opportunity to enter whatever situation, friendship, family, relationship,
romantic, yeah.
Again, you now have to ask yourself whether or not this will serve you down the line. Yeah.
I used to be someone that used to think that, oh, someone comes back and they say they've changed and that will be enough and I can just carry on like nothing's happened. I can't ignore what happened previously. No. That's what I recognize about myself. As much as I love and care about people, whatever the case may be, I can't ignore or forget what you did last time, which means, unfortunately, I'm always going to be on edge expecting you to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Even if you might never do it.
Same. I can't ignore it. I think my heart tells me that I can, so then I'll go in it. Because
you want it so bad, yeah.
But then, as soon as I'm back in it, I'm like, oh, yeah, and I remember when you did that. Like, everything starts to become really triggering.
Yes.
And when it becomes triggering, that's when I realize, oh yeah, I should have listened to myself.
Yeah, I should have never gone back in.
Yeah. And that's the problem. So,
the heart wants what the heart wants until the head gets involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When someone hurts your feelings, you need to be intentional about how you put forward. Her way isn't wrong. My way isn't wrong. You have to decipher what works for you.
No approach is right, no approach is wrong, but what is the best for you?
What's the best for you?
Or the best for the scenario at hand.
If you're not able to think that way, because you have to be analytical to think that way. True. Think about what's best for you.
You're right. If you ain't got the analytics.
Right. Because